What is good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy King GDB, guys. We are back again today. We're checking out Common Ground Conversations, guys, on the top G himself. Love or hate? Let's see what one. This is going to be conversation 2. Let's jump right into it. This is just the end of conversation 1, so let's go.
Yeah, have a lovely evening. Take care, see you. Andrew Tate, love or hate? I want to start one word first.
Here we go.
One worded answer, and then let's unpack it in more detail.
Hey.
Like. Yeah, can I say like?
Yeah, we can go like.
Yeah, I'd say like. Yeah.
No comment at this point in time.
Okay, all right. Well, so, run me through what you like about Andrew Tate.
I like the inspirational aspects for young men.
And what are those inspirational aspects in particular?
He really pushes for motivation, man. He gets like young kids to go and do something and follow their dreams and become the best version of themselves. I think that aspect of him is really cool, and that's what pushes me towards like, for sure. But other aspects.
Hold that thought. We're going to come back to the flip side of it. What do you like about?
Okay, actually, wait. I'm going to bust through the format for a second and just like generate a nice clip that'll be nice to clip.
Go.
I think the greatest problem that we're seeing with the whole Tate situation is an algorithmic problem. What I'm noticing is that men and women are literally seeing different Tates because of what the algorithm is pushing to them. Like, for example, when I see Andrew Tate, like I see stuff about like, you know, the importance of being a strong man so that you can protect others and uphold others around you. I see stuff like, you know, the importance of having your finances in check, taking care of women, doing stuff like that. And, you know, the importance of finances and building a good life. Because that's the stuff I'm saving. That's the stuff I'm engaging with. I literally, when I first saw him, I would just see stupid shit, be like, who the f is this guy? Until like
until just the algorithm learned
what I liked about him and then fed that to me. So I see a different Tate. I see the good part of Tate there. But what I'm noticing with women, like I can see how very easily they could hate Tate because what the algorithm is doing is it's noticing. They'll watch a video of Andrew Tate saying something
intelligent
stupid,
man.
And it'll make people mad. Sometimes you watch it just because it makes you mad.
Yeah, 100%.
And then
and you interact with it.
You interact
it knows
with it.
that you engage.
It knows you engage with it. So I'm seeing girls I see are seeing a completely different Tate than I am. So that's really creating a huge rift in between people's opinion on this one person who's a multifaceted individual, but each side is only being fed one side of the pie because that's what the algorithm is designed to do. It's designed to divide us.
Okay, that's really good context for this because we, in this episode, hopefully the outcome of it is going to be people who watch the full episode will understand why people love him, but also understand why some people hate him. And hopefully that paints a fuller picture of the complete Andrew Tate, so to speak. So the love side, I 100% find common ground with you on. I think it's really important for young lads to be
inspired,
encouraged in their ambition. I also think something that he's done for me personally is highlight some uncomfortable truths in the sexual marketplace.
Such as what?
For example, if you, what do women select for in a high value male, right? Things like status, money, physical strength, willingness to engage in combat when necessary. And all of these things, right? All of these things
Willingness.
are young lads being told this by their mothers. Maybe some. It's definitely not something that I learned, right? My mum will love me no matter what I do in this world, right? But the type of love that or what
he's preaching,
a mature woman finds attractive in the opposite sex is different to what my mum loves about me, right? And so I think those uncomfortable truths, he's done very well on not beating around the bush and just going straight down the barrel and giving me those uncomfortable truths. And I think in certain instances where it does feel like a lot of people have to tiptoe around these types of topics, he's a unique individual in the sense of his, he does, exactly.
Not doing no 10 toes down the block.
Because a huge difference with Andrew Tate, why he penetrates is his tone. You know, he makes the whole thing fun and engaging. Jordan Peterson is a noble man that's right about a lot of stuff, but it just doesn't seem as convincing when, you know,
because he doesn't say with conviction and with, you know, the gravitas of the top,
I really like
top G.
About what Andrew Tate has conveyed to me is the importance of emotional stability as a man. Like, you can break down,
stoicism.
You can be weak, you can like open up when you need to.
But you got to push, brother.
And it's actually been really great because there's been many times where like I could, you know, be talking to a girl or something, and I might be like, wait, skip that whole tangent. Never mind.
No, because I want to, if you don't mind me taking the baton from there, Because I think that in a generation of dudes who are being told you should be more vulnerable, it's a fine line between encouraging a healthy amount of vulnerability and encouraging weakness.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I think he's big on, like, he copped some flack for saying depression isn't real or something of the sort. And if you have more context around it, I get his message, right?
Yeah.
In the sense, you can have your life can be absolute shit.
Yeah.
And labeling it with a particular something, it's like, what's that going to do for you? And I think his message, I want to give him credit where credit's due.
Of course.
His message around, dude, if your life sucks, stay off the medication.
Yeah, this guy's preaching.
What aspects of your life are making you feel this way, and then use that negative emotion to do something about
your
it.
emotions are an indication of like whether stuff is going wrong or right in your life. It's not correct to suppress the emotions because they're with drugs and medication.
Sometimes maybe it's necessary, but not all the time.
Because those emotions are the thing that's going to tell you, like, to go do the thing to make the change so that you can be happy. You know? For example, vulnerability, it's important, it's a strength, but I really feel like we actively are in a society that's being encouraged towards weakness because weak, divided
100%.
people
100%.
will pay for the medication, will obey the system, and will, just generally follow the program. Very simply, it's being very...
slip into the matrix.
Slip into the matrix.
Which is part of why he's a self-proclaimed Morpheus.
And and I think that's like... I think the whole reason Andrew Tate got canceled was because he's pointing out holes in the matrix, which is quite funny because he's not saying stuff that's like incredibly revolutionary. Like, there's
okay. Now
system.
I want to push that back on that a little bit. So I think that the main reason why, technically, the reason why he got taken off Facebook and Insta was violating the they had a policy for dangerous organizations and individuals.
Right.
And I think that's, I'm not for censorship in that respect.
It makes sense from their point of view, from what they've seen and from what that post. Did you see that post from that guy, Matt?
No, tell me about it.
There was a post from a guy, Matt. It got like 1 million likes or something like that. It was like a slideshow. It was just like...
that was some nonsense, man. I broke that down. I actually broke that down.
Saying stuff that he's done and some videos, like 7-second video clip, just clips. He was saying stuff like, you're just gonna like choke her and slap her and stuff like that.
Slap,
so it makes him look like an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
They're taking like the tiniest bit of him and it's like the worst things that he said and then from there,
lacking
tarnishing
context.
And
lacking
furthermore, that's what the algorithm's feeding to most of the women that come to hate him. And I can see if that's all they've seen, I'd hate him too. When I first saw him on my feed, I was like, who the is this dickhead? And it was only when I engaged with the long form content that I was like, he's not perfect, but he's on to some things that are important.
Okay, and this is something that, I don't know, have you seen his most recent long form video? So I think he does a good job in that of demonstrating he's aware of the fact that some of what he is saying can be taken out of context, and then it can also be have a negative influence on young people. In particular, young lads.
I need to figure out a new way to form sentences.
Right, yeah. Well, so say for example that clip where he's saying slap, whatever, grab, choke.
The context of that.
Out of context.
He's adding context.
Can be. I can see why some people would label that damaging. I would probably say unproductive or misleading or not a good role model for young lads.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're the most Googled man on the earth, it is quite difficult to say things that you believe that might be controversial in such a way that they can't be clipped in a dangerous way.
You see a lot of artists, like when they get interviewed, like once they're big, like someone like Kanye, like they literally like stop and like think for like a few seconds before they speak so that they don't get clipped. Like they have to like think of like delivering their message in a way where they can't just like take a little chunk of it and make them look
Yes, and I think it will be
that's
interesting to see what Tate does from here, to see whether he's able to tweak what he says in such a way that he can hold that engaging kind of tonality whilst also ensuring.
I think that's the key there. I think the key is he will manage, and it's not, again, people try to make it seem like it's a difficult task. It is not that hard a task to do. It is just, you just have to be very careful in the analogies you use, and B, the tonality in which you come at things from. If you come at things from a nice, calm, peaceful, happy-go-lucky manner. But again, he's already popular anyway, so he already has the amassed audience. So all he has to do now is just change the tonality, and be less, again, he could be more expressive if he wants to with his hands and his fingers, but again, people are saying, oh, it's aggressive, so he could be less, emotive. But again, if that's not who you are, don't be that. But if you want to be good at the marketing of that, you gain the audience. All that needs to happen is to take the people, because 50% already love you, more than that, to be honest, more like 80% at this point, and you have to convert the other 20% to think, okay, it's not a bad person.
That his stuff doesn't get taken out of context to promote a type of behavior that isn't productive. So I want to flip it. So what are some things that we can point to that Tate has either done or said that we can say we're not for this?
I've spoken to women about it. A lot of women seem to see him as a sex trafficker because of those allegations.
It's allegations proven wrong. It was not even something that should be given ground, because it's not facts. It's just wrong, completely wrong.
So they fully believe that he's in Romania to get away from the system, to pay off the cops because he's got money and he can just do whatever he wants, sex traffic women, abuse women. That's the views that I've seen of a lot of women.
Yeah, but this is saying, whenever he said those things about, having a place where you can access corruption, it's just a lower level of saying, look, if you're speeding or you need to get somewhere fast, and he's using those examples, not these examples. Sure, you can use that. But again, if you reach a certain level of wealth, regardless of where you are, you can get away with absolutely anything. So it's factual. He's not lying about anything. There's senators' sons who get into DIYs and then that thing just disappears like that, eviscerated. No one knows anything about it. Did they not go to jail? No. Someone died? Yep. Paid off? Yep. Bro, these things happen. And for people to sit there and act like, put the blinders on, he's doing that too. There's loads of people who are doing it too. You just don't know about it because it's not public.
There was a video.
And that was his mistake.
What do you say to women who have those concerns, or to anyone who has those
I would say, of course, it's impossible to know for certain either way. But my personal opinion would be I don't believe it, judged on what else he does and what else he's contributing to society. But of course, you can't say either way.
I also do want to be fair to him. He hasn't been convicted of anything.
Yeah, of course.
He also has said, for example, in that long form video, he lives in Romania because he likes Romania. And that there are perhaps some tax benefits and whatnot. But I think claiming that he is sex trafficking without good evidence and without a conviction, I don't think that's a good, just because I say something about you doesn't mean that we believe it, right? It's innocent until proven guilty, and I think we should be consistent with that.
We're in that type of world where it's guilty until proven innocent, depending on whether the system wants
information warfare
or not. I'm going to return to a previous point where I think Andrew Tate's being canceled because he, just by saying, hey, man, let's be strong, look after ourselves, and then use that strength to protect others, system doesn't want that messaging out there, because then that creates independent people that can look after themselves and that don't have to suckle on the teat of big pharma to stay alive, And the system doesn't want that. But what it's done is it's used, no one wants misogynists around, no one wants sex traffickers around, but it's used those accusations as the lance with which to temporarily drop Andrew Tate. I don't think that's why he's being canceled, because there's incredible amounts of sexist behavior that goes on day in, day out, but they're not coming from a person that's also having a positive impact on male strength, which is essential for a complete society and 100%. Actually for the protection and betterment of women. We're in a world that's largely without strong, resilient men. And women, I'm saying it, man, they're way less happy than other times. Not that other times have been perfect, but
100%.
This decrease in male strength, decrease in male independence, this encouragement of male weakness.
Strong men is good.
Yeah, women are suffering in the absence of strong men. So the system, seeing a strong man imperfectly, and he can work on those things, he's going to work on them. Seeing a strong man imperfectly create other strong men, the system doesn't want to see that.
Are there any specific things, other things that you want to put your finger on as this is something Tate has said that I'm not for?
Definitely.
Here we go.
There's a video on the internet. So there's that one that he addressed where he was spanking that girl with the belt. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one that he addressed, and then that girl did come out and she said, yes, that was a kink thing for us. But there was another video, a second video, where he's with a different girl, and he's pointing out her bruises. He's like, yeah, I did that, I bruised you, yada, yada, yada. And then they're having a conversation. Tate's being a little bit aggressive, and then she locks herself in the bathroom. Yeah. She locks herself in the bathroom, and then Tate's like, I'm gonna beat you, why are you doing that? Behave. And she's like, I am behaving. why did she lock herself in the bathroom? Is my thoughts.
Yeah.
That's something that's a bit like, what's going on here, brother?
Has she
He hasn't spoken about that video.
I'm keen to hear about that one.
Because I was familiar with the first one, and I'm supportive of.
Yeah, of course, me too.
If people
But this is the
have
thing, like,
certain kinks in the bedroom,
the person hasn't
I guess each
come
to
out and
their
said
own.
anything. Like that person,
and I think
you
obviously
know,
that video is very easily
God
taken out of
forbid they're
context
still
and,
alive. They're not in the grave, but they're still alive. They haven't come out and said anything. So
But
until that happens,
that's
then, you
assuming
know,
that there is consent.
it is what it is.
The other one, let's give it a fair shake, man. Like,
Yeah, of course.
Let's
we should
find out.
We should let them both explain what happened for sure. But it does look a bit. I'm a bit skeptical about that one.
Yeah.
But I think on the whole, overall, what he's doing for young men is beneficial for society.
Andrew Tate represents an image.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna jump into Convo 3 there in a new minute. Let me know what you thought of Convo 2. That was the most productive convo ever. You can tell these guys were they were on it. They were articulate with their points. They were well-rounded in their delivery, and they delivered them with such enthusiasm. You can tell that they've really digested the content, and they've actually done credible research into the the whole Tate thing. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in Convo 3, because this lady seems like she is about to give us something great. Catch you guys in the next one. Again, guys, as I always say, don't forget to spread love and not WarCraft. Peace.